Right, let's get started now. In our first story, the Economic Intelligence Unit, the EIU report, is predicting victory for the governing New Patriotic Party and President Akufo-Addo in the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections. This is the second time since 2017 that the group has predicted an NPP victory. Here's Joseph Akable of our political desk with more from this report.
The state of Ghana's economy was a topical issue prior to the 2016 elections. The then opposition NPP insisted the economy was in shambles.
Fishermen are suffering and industries are suffering. Artisans are suffering and Kayaye are suffering. The disabled are suffering and men are suffering. Women are suffering and children and Ghanaians as a whole are suffering.
But the NDC will disagree.
The choice we face in this election is simple: to stay the course and forge on with determination and consolidate all the gains that we have made over the last 4 years, or to give up and begin again on another course of which we have no guarantees of success, but just the oral assurances of a small group of people. These are the two choices we face in the election on Wednesday. And it is for Ghanaians to make a determination which of the two they will choose. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, it must not be said that we cannot pursue a task to its logical end because we are lured by the unanchored promises of change.
This will be a relevant issue come 2020, but the EIU says it tilts in favor of the NPP as it is perceived as a better custodian of the economy. The report also notes that the NDC's John Mahama is associated with a faltering economy experienced prior to 2016. The NPP will also not have it easy. The report predicts serious infighting among its rank and file.
Now, the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice is demanding the passage of a law to purposely deal with cases of torture in Ghana. The Commission, in an advisory which follows allegations of torture against national security operatives during the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election and the arrest of 2 modern Ghana journalists, say a new law will help to effectively deal with such cases. There's a bit more about that in this report.
A bloody by-election amidst allegation of brutality meted out by security operatives with the National Security Council's SWAT team.
The guy came and gave me a heavy slap on my back. Why? And I fell. And he told me that do hand press.
Few months later, the nation will wake up to allegations by modern Ghana journalist Emmanuel Abugri that he was tortured over a story published regarding National Security Minister Albert Kandapa. While Shraj admits it has not investigated the matter, it urges victims of such abuse to report the matter as they strengthen perceptions that security operatives use torture in their work. Shraj wants the AG to take the necessary steps to enact a separate law on torture so as to cure the gap in the country's existing justice delivery system.
Let's move along to the Upper West region now, where the Wa West District Director of Health is worried about the increasing cases of teenage pregnancy in the region. Clifford Veng says 18% of the pregnant women who visit health facilities in the district in the past 10 months for antenatal service are teenagers. Mr. Veng was speaking at a Meet the Press forum held at Wichao. Rafiq Salam was there. Here's his report.
The Meet the Press series gives the various municipal and district chief executives the opportunity to showcase the policies and programs they embark on since their assumption of office. It also affords journalists space to seek for clarification on issues that are bordering on the development of the district. District Chief Executive for Wa West, Edward Labiri Sabo, laid bare some of the programs embarked on which are intended to lift the people from the poverty quagmire they are wallowing in. According to the 2013 Poverty Mapping Report, the Wa West District has the highest poverty incidence and death rate in the country. Edward Labiri sees the agriculture sector as a game changer.
To ensure access
are set up fertilizer depots in Dabo, Durumu, Tanvari, which are very last year, Pointanga, Gurumu, Mbete, Donya, for the first time in the district to make the planting for food and job program more accessible to farmers. More than 5,000 farmers benefited from the planting for food and jobs creation, as well as the government subsidized fertilizer program. This reward.
One key challenge that came to the fore at the forum was the increasing cases of teenage pregnancy in the district. 18.2% of pregnant women who visited health facilities for antenatal services were teenagers. Warwick District Director of the Ghana Health Service, Clifford Beng, attributed it to the culture of the people.
These teenagers we see are fully married women. They are married. People are giving them out. I think I have to say this. Yes. So we even further went to do analysis to see where the age brackets that usually gets pregnant. We classify them into two. One is early teens and then the other one is late teens. And the early teens is from 10 years to 14 years. And then the late teens is 15 years and then above. We notice that even as early as 12 years in Wichao here, in Wild West here, gets pregnant. And that is so alarming. So I will use this media to appeal to the good people of Wild West to really educate our people, or maybe do something to this cultural behavior that can reduce this menace of teenage pregnancy in the district.
The Meet the Prayer series is an initiative of Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali.
I wish to solicit your further cooperation so as we market the Upper West region. It is only when we give a true picture of our region that people will be willing and ready to come to the region. But if we want to always be the first to tell the world about certain isolated negative incidents in the region, then please, we are not doing the people of the region any good.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Watch out.
Now, tired of waiting for successive governments to honor their promises to construct a bridge, residents of Gozisi near Boko have begun constructing their own bridge to aid in their movement to other communities. Now, they say they can no longer wait for politicians to make promises they will never fulfill. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin bumped into a few residents who were at the site. Here's a report he filed.
People are having perception that it's a particular party that is supporting us to do the bridge. It's a fallacy. No party is sponsoring bridge. No any philosophy from somewhere is sponsoring bridge. It's from our own sweat that we are doing this bridge. We don't want to hear it.
Community members have raised money to construct the bridge to facilitate movement to neighboring communities. This decision was reached after a resident met his untimely death at this spot. Sympathizers who attended the funeral had to park their vehicles on the bank of the river and use other routes to reach their destination.
Whenever we have funerals, we sit down and discuss about these issues. It came to a point we lost an old lady from this community. We happened to have our brothers from Accra, Kumasi, etc. When they came, it happened to be in the rainy season time. So they came with cars, their private cars. They couldn't get to the ground. They have to park their cars here and move to the family house for the funeral.
The situation is worsened by the rains, especially when patients, including pregnant women, are transported to the hospital.
If a child is sick or somebody is sick, we are just closer to a hospital here. Before, if it is rainy season time, before you get with the person at the hospital, when you come here, you'll be stagnant. You can't get to the hospital. There are so many issues. concerned about. That is why the community sit with the youth and decide that what should we do? Because government is not coming to our aid. So we decided that we have to form an association from the community. That is, we say, Bisa Youth Association. We formed the association. Then we now ask for suggestion from the various people. What do we do?
We want to do this work to help the students. Anytime I can remember when we were attending school, anytime it's raining, you can see your colleague student will run inside and ask you that it is raining, why are you still here? Then if you are to also stop learning and go back home, it means you miss instructional hours, and this was not good for us. And that's why when this initiative was brought by the Gozensi youth, we have seen that, we have to help so that we can see that the work will move on well, and we can remember we are the younger generation upcoming. So when we see this one, it's going to help us a lot. And therefore, anytime it's raining, our market women, our mothers have to, some used to go and pass through Misiga in order to go home when their homes are just here.
Residents say the initiative will end repeated appeals to government without positive responses.
We went to assembly more than 3 times, and they said they will come and help us. Even bring engineers to come and check how the thing is. And since the engineers come, they don't come again. From here, from the stadium, coming here, the road no good. Now we need filling. That is me important. We need bulldozer or grader to come and help us and do the rest for us. The bridge, luckily, we try our best. We finish the bridge.
If it rains, the water will be full and we can't cross. If you joke to cross here too, I think you will fall inside the river, and that ends it. And they also need our life. That is why they come together and build this bridge for us.
Completion of this bridge means students will no longer stay at home when it rains or sleep over in school in Boku.
Now, before we go, do you have plans to buy land anytime soon? Or do you own land and want to verify if it is indeed yours, although you have paid for it? Now, with so many land litigation cases in some parts of the country, we bring you some expert advice on how to authenticate ownership of that land that you're on or intend to own. Gifty Androapia has been engaging the Principal Administrative Officer at the Lands Commission, Timothy Anyidoho, for more on steps to take in securing your land.
Assuming I've seen a land and I'm interested.
Okay.
So I come, and this is where I come first?
So you come first to what we call the queuing system.
Okay.
It will tell you what you want to do, and then you can just press the service you're coming
Okay.
for.
So here I see collection, bulk stamping, PVL&D
searches, services and searches.
Inquiry, stamping,
yes.
Registration, regional number, and plan approval after payment. What is PVL&D services?
You know, the Lands Commission has 4 divisions. So PVLMD is just one of the divisions. That's the Public Invested Land Management Division.
Okay.
So, and it does stroke searches. So you can do searches also with the Land Registration Division.
Okay.
So it's not only PVLMD searches.
And that's if I have seen a land and I want to find out that whether or not it belongs to somebody.
Yes, please. So this is where. So you either do it with PVLMD or you can do it with Land Registration Division, but that will fall under the general heading of searches.
Okay. So right now, what am I doing? Assuming I'm now coming
to do
search. A search.
Yes.
Okay. So I come here and then I give my documents.
So what you would give to a person will be what we call a site plan.
A site plan?
Yes, so it will look like this.
Okay. And this is the plan that you must get from those who sold the land to you?
Yes, please.
And you get this after you have paid for the land and everything?
No. And that's a correction I must make.
Please.
This should precede any form of transaction.
From here, where do you go?
So you would have then given them your details. You have an on-site bank, as you can see. We are serviced by Merchant Investor UMB Bank. Yes.
Okay.
So you go and make some payment with them, and they give you receipts. So it's typically
for the search.
For the search.
How much do you have to pay for a search?
It's 55 for the first acre and 10 cedis for subsequent acres.
Okay, that's not very expensive. I mean, I'm sure those who are ready to buy a land will be able to afford that.
You are far too kind. So that would be the financial implications. After you do the payments, you will come back
to searches and state lands.
Yes, and they'll complete the process for you. We'll take some details, the names of the person doing the search.
Okay.
The name.
I mean, this is someone's document,
yes,
so of course, as much as possible, we don't want it.
Yes, so it's just random. So there'll be named the job number, what we call the person requesting, and critical to us is you now see that there's a date written down here, which gives you an estimated time of when you should expect to hear from us.
Okay.
So we are holding ourselves accountable by the time limit.
That's if you you live by it, because you can still have the time and the date on the paper and still not live by it.
But so let's be candid. There are many people who even receive it even before the time. There are a few people who might receive it after the time because of some difficulty in retrieving some information. So we've moved from an era where we didn't used to give you any time limit at all to an era where now we are holding ourselves accountable by some time limit.
By giving you a time limit, so that when you come at this, you can make a demand.
It's a completed.
So this is land certificate.
Yes.
So this, if you have this, it means what?
You have completed your registration process.
The land is for you?
Well, yes, you have. The government has guaranteed that parcel of land is yours.
Good for you, Gifty. Now, that's where we're going to bring the news to a stop, but of course, the show continues. Newspaper review comes up right after these.